As the COVID-19 crisis moved business as usual online, another welcome change came into practice: the revolution of telehealth and telemedicine. Telehealth has long acted as a supplement to traditional primary care settings, but has the opportunity to cater to India's largest healthcare challenge: institutional access and delivery. So please join me in today's open workshop on affordable telehealth solutions for social sector organizations. Our speaker for today's workshop is Mr. G. N. Balakrishnan, Head of Sales and Business Development as Director for Medical Mind, a healthcare IT organization. Mr. Balakrishnan is responsible for driving the company's business strategy, business development, and sales operation for the Asia Pacific region. Apart from Medical Mind, he's also heading sales and operations for VTAN Corporation, a medtech organization which indigenously designs, develops, and manufactures medical devices in the infusion and radiology space. He has 25 years of experience in sales and marketing in the consumer health, pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and healthcare IT sector. Lovely to have you, Mr. Balakrishnan, and over to you, sir.
Hi, good morning all. Thank you very much for the introduction. Can you hear me on?
Yes.
Can-
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Before I run through my presentation on the integrated telehealth from an rural healthcare perspective, let me take this opportunity to welcome and thank you all for making to this virtual India CSR Summit 2020. You rightly pointed out, although on various forum, the importance of telehealth has been spoken in length by the experts. COVID-19 has really set up the momentum and made the adoption much faster toward the telehealth. That's a key. And today, in my 10 to 12 minutes of presentation, going to talk about how important is the integrated telehealth from the rural perspective. To set the context, I just want to share a very interesting data which was published by PricewaterhouseCoopers. This primarily talks about the split of population of doctors across the urban and rural. You're all aware that there's a skews number between the urban and rural when it comes to the percentage of population. In urban, it is 34%, and rural is 66%. But if you were to take the presence of the healthcare practitioners, doctors, and the health workers, it is vice versa. It is absolutely the different proportion, where rural is only 33% and urban is 67%. And also interestingly, if you see the data on the shade of cases treated, again both in urban as well as the rural population, both in the private and public sector. Despite the fact we have got the primary health care center, which is about 24,000, and the community health centers around 5,000 plus across in India, but still the skewed towards the private hospitals, both from the urban population as well as the rural, is very, very high. This factor could be attributed towards the very limited resources of doctors, nurses, as well as the hospital beds, with the recommendation of the we are much below than the recommendation by the WHO. You see the data here. This is the vision which was set by the Ministry of Health from a rural healthcare perspective. Although it talks about the improved bed density as well as setting up the new medical colleges under the public-private partnership, three critical important milestones which need to be seen as the percentage of GDP spent on healthcare will significantly improve in next 5 years from 1.3 to 2.5. That's a very, very significant milestone what we are seeing here. The other important factor is about the Make in India initiatives. I don't know, many of you must be aware today, in the medical devices space, almost 70 to 75% of the medical devices are imported from the other countries. And primarily in India, we manufacture more of the disposables. Despite the fact India contributes to the highest number of engineers, in India across the globe. Today, the medical devices, per se, and the technology is not accessible, affordable, and available in rural towns. So Make in India initiative is going to really set the momentum to make the medical devices and diagnosis available in all those locations. More importantly, at the affordable price and accessible. And one of the critical element of this, the vision is on the utilization of teleconsultation. Today, many initiatives have been taken by the state, central government, and many of the private players, including the NGOs and the CSR companies. How do we really make telehealth consultation more affordable, accessible by the population across the rural health? How do we connect the tertiary care institutions to district and sub-district level? It's one of the important milestone what I see in the vision of the Ministry of Health. This slide is actually the overlap of the last slide, but one of the critical pillar which I want to discuss is about the digital services access to all. You all are aware the Arogya Setu app was established before the COVID, and if you can see, there are more than 10 million downloads has happened, and people are using this app very effectively. And the other important milestone, what we see here is the National Digital Health Blueprint implementation. This is very, very critical. This is nothing but the extension of National Health Policy 2017, with the primary objective to provide the unified healthcare to all citizens based on the digital technology for achieving the higher efficiency and effectiveness. And there's one more thing on health UID to all. So these are all the initiatives which is taken by the Ministry of Health under the Ayushman Bharat for an effective implementation of the rural healthcare solutions. Okay, this is a very important slide. Amid COVID, the government has launched eSanjeevani. This was exactly launched in November 2019, last year, with an objective of taking forward the telehealth to the rural and Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. So government has launched eSanjeevani and eSanjeevani OPD. Interestingly, it was implemented in 27 states with 6,000 healthcare practitioners are full-time engaged in this platform. If you see the data, it's quite amazing. 9 lakh consultation as of 2nd December 2020. This is a very significant milestone by eSanjeevani. And 3 states, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Gujarat, run OPD for almost 12 hours a day and 7 days a week, including Sundays. And the hub and spoke model, 240 hubs and over 5,000 spokes have been set up by various states, because to make sure that the penetration is much, much deeper, and then it's accessible by all the Tier 2, Tier 3 people. Health Ministry has allocated almost 100 crore to eSanjeevani for the current financial year 2020. Okay, we have seen the vision of the Ministry of Health, and then some of those national digital platform and so on. But still, are we there in true healthcare delivery in terms of the rural telehealth solution? The answer is no. The challenges remain in terms of the last mile delivery. When we talk about the rural healthcare delivery, particularly from the telehealth perspective, one of the major entrants is the continuum of care. I'm sure that audience would agree. Today, non-communicable diseases is no more with the urban population. The rural health or rural people have been, significantly impacted by disease like diabetes and cardiovascular disorder. It is important to make sure that the continuum of care, pharmacy setup, what you see in urban, hence, despite the fact in rural people are having the teleconsultation, they could not able to really adhere towards the treatment regime. One, because of the availability, other is cost, and the major challenge is the substitution. The poor quality of drugs being substituted with the prescriptions which are initiated by the healthcare practitioners. The other factor, which is the roadblock in the healthcare delivery, is the lack of diagnosis and lab tests. Today, all the Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, or rather the rural health population, do not have an access to the diagnosis and lab tests, with again, poor of data and patient record management. We talked about the NCD in rural population. We talked about some of those critical illness like cardiovascular disorder, dyslipidemia and diabetes, where you need to have the proper disease management. Hence, there is no standardization of data and so on. This poor disease management, and the preventive care is a dream for the people those who live in the rural setup. And obviously, despite the fact we have the telehealth and so on, the limitation for the second opinion from the specialists and consultants is limited, because you do not have the infrastructure or the framework where you can able to involve the multiple stakeholders during the teleconsultation. So these are all some of the challenges in terms of the last mile delivery when we talk about the rural telehealth solutions. Okay, what exactly is the need of the hour? So need of the hour is about the holistic approach towards the continuum of care. When we talk about the holistic approach, we talk about the integrated telehealth, which is beyond the video consultation. Today, when we talk about the telehealth, it's something beyond the video consultation, where the integrated telehealth platform should have the seamless integration with the devices. Today, with the limited healthcare resources, many of those healthcare implementation organizations are involving ASHA in the last mile delivery, where they go and see the patient, register the patient, and so on. So today there are devices, keychain portable devices are available, which is available in India, which can able to actually monitor the saturation, blood pressure, ECG, and the fasting sugar, and can be seamlessly transmitted to the healthcare practitioners who sits in the tertiary care, and hence the quality of treatment can be assured from the remote location. We talk about the radiology integration. We also talk about the RAB result, which are very, very critical to make sure that the ecosystem is fully equipped to deliver the quality care, which otherwise patient would get when they are visiting the hospital in person. So telehealth is no more just a video consultation. It's about the integration of the lab devices, radiology, and the other monitoring devices, including the pharmacy. When I talk about the devices are very elegant, small. Today, I don't know how many of you are aware, there is a lab bike which is launched by the company called Akusher, which actually is driving the mobile lab in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So a person in a bike will go to the rural town, will set up the lab, and the results are generated within 4 hours and then seamlessly exchanged with the telecare providers. So the integrated telehealth platform is very, very critical in the future healthcare delivery. Okay, when we talk about the integrated telehealth, one of the important critical factors is about the data standardizations. Let us see why the data standardization is very, very critical. From a two perspective, one is once we have the patient demographic and the other details, clinical details in place, it helps the patient to have the continuum of care irrespective of the center, wherever he goes and sees the doctor, to have the past history of the patient. And in case the doctor will have to, advise the patient to have the the prescription to be refilled or to be, again prescribed and shared with the patient. The system should accommodate. The system should accommodate and able to share those details seamlessly across the users within the ecosystem. So that's very, very critical. So data standardization plays a very, very critical role in the telehealth. Next slide. The other important factor is about the data sharing. Data sharing primarily aids the quality of rural healthcare delivery model. When I talk about the data sharing, it's not about data sharing within the the hospital or within the facility. It's about a doctor has been empowered to share the lab reports, or will be empowered to share the diagnosis which to be taken by the patient, and then the lab calls up the patient, and then subsequently samples are taken and the lab reports are pushed back to doctor. And in case doctor need to have the super specialty consultation, doctor connects through the remote and have the expert opinion, and again give back the guidance and recommendation to the patient. So this entire ecosystem of data standardization and data sharing should aid the quality outcome in the rural healthcare delivery model. Okay, again, when I talk about the rural telehealth ecosystem, it's not about just connecting the tertiary care hospital to the remote centers in a real time. It's about also ensuring the continuum of care right from the preventive, also the curative outpatient care, investigation, hospitalization, and so on. So what exactly is the positive clinical implication? What we see in real time is the prevention of illness and early detection of disease, accurate diagnosis and appropriate treatment to the patient at the right time. And hence, there's a value-based healthcare system which actually mitigate those challenge of fewer complications through the minimization of errors, faster and complete recovery from illness, and fewer disabilities and recurrence. Okay, the entire integrated telehealth should aid the better treatment and patient outcome, right from across the patient journey, right from the symptoms to the recovery. In terms of the specialist consultation, in terms of shared decision making, also to assess the risk and appropriateness monitoring till the final recovery. So primarily the focus is on quality of care, wellness and preventive care, and the value what a patient would get is the improved care and quality outcomes. In future, the integrated telehealth will redefine the healthcare model, which is more qualitative cycle of care with more transparency based, which is evidence based, and offering the continuum of care across the stakeholders. The critical things what any healthcare organization should really look in when they are implementing the virtual healthcare programs, it is to have the clear need assessment, identify the most appropriate virtual healthcare platform which can able to accommodate the current capabilities and able to visualize the future technological needs and how do we bridge the gap. And internally people will have to develop a strategy and partnership primarily with an objective of having a coordinated strategy, centralized governance, and strong partnership are critical to the success of virtual healthcare program. The important thing is about invest in data and technology infrastructure. Although we talk about the investment, it's a one-time investment, which actually aid the entire, the healthcare delivery within real-time data. So hence, investment in data and technology infrastructure is very, very critical. And one more thing which the healthcare organization will have to really look in engaging and training the workforce. Again, it's all, the one-time turning, and the solution which you prefer to opt is to have the better UI, user interface, and people should be easily adaptable towards the platform. The other important thing is about create new workflows, care models, and risk mitigation protocols. You are aware today, one of the biggest advantage of using any telehealth or the connected care, you have the, the provision of the templates. So today, how do we really minimize the doctor time with the patient, but effectively, having the quality care is about the template-driven, protocol and template-driven, the disease management. Say, for example, a physician treating a patient with the comorbid conditions can able to can able to have the template in place so that the consultation is getting close as quickly as possible, and then the appropriate treatment regime is being recommended by the doctors. And the last one is about engage with the key stakeholders and educate patients. So patient plays a very, very crucial role in the entire journey of the technology adoption. So it is equally important for the healthcare organization to also guide and support the patient throughout the journey so that the patients are seamlessly using the technology. Again, there are clear, predictable outcomes when patients are on patient and the healthcare organization are in the connected care. It gives a lot of insight-driven strategies and action for the personalized approach. And it aid all the key stakeholders in engaging them in the shared decision making and using experience as a basis for continuous improvement. delivering the care through connected, flexible, and omni-channel approach. It will also improve the operational efficiency through the advanced analytics. And it is actually the change management and workforce improvement. So it is not about the one center control. It gives the empowerment across the workforce with the more committed delivery model. And finally, it enables patient staff partners to interact seamlessly with system to support core clinics as well as the business goals. So again, when people are talking about the integrated telehealth and the platform, what they choose, they need to also look into the privacy and data securities. Today, you have a lot of players in the telehealth place, but how far your data is secured is very, very critical, because one need to understand that data privacy and security is critical. Today, Indian government or the Ministry of Health is designing DISHA, which is Digital Information Security in Healthcare, the way we have in US and UK. In US, it is a HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which primarily talks about the protection of the personal information of the patients. And GDPR is on the European side. So India shortly will also come out with DISHA, which is very stringent health IT, the security standards, which every telehealth provider or the connected care provider should abide by. And
sorry to intervene here. So we're actually running a little bit over time. So if you
sorry,
could wrap
this
up in
is
the
the
next.
last slide. This is the last slide.
Sure.
Sharing the record to the coordinated care. When I talk about sharing the data, is about the data which is securely shared, end-to-end encryption, which is very critical, and audit trail of the access by the users. So one need to consider this security standards, and that's it from my side. Thank you very much.